So yes, there is an exhaust system on the MDX Type S. It is the ATLP exhaust from HeelToe Auto. They are local in Oregon, and they were developing an exhaust system for the MDX Type S. Obviously, it's not the most common vehicle, and since we're so close, they had reached out and wanted to know if I wanted to test it out. So I said, sure, I'd be happy to help. As you guys know, I'm Mr. OEM. Everything I have, I usually put back to stock and don't add mods to, but I grew up in the culture where adding exhaust, coilovers, different wheels was normal, and I wanted to give this a shot. It was also, I think, a really good idea for me to test it out because I have no preconceived notions going into this at all. It's, hey, I'm happy to help, let's put it on. Maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't. Let's give it a shot and see how it goes. I wanted this video to be a little bit of me talking just about what I've experienced. So we put this on a few days ago. I put, man, about 250 miles on the exhaust already since I put it on, or since Marcus put it on, I should say. And you'll see a lot more comprehensive video from him coming out soon. I was thinking back to the days when I would modify the cars and how much of a pain it was getting aftermarket things to line up. They never sounded quite right. They were always a little bit off. And I was stunned at, and maybe I shouldn't have been, but I was stunned at how quickly the exhaust went on. The measurements, the OEM fit and finish to this thing, the look of the tailpipes, it looks amazing. I think that's a testament to Marcus and the HeelToe brand, that when they do develop something, they do it right. All right, Marcus, what can you tell me about this thing?
Oh, well, they're all stainless steel, obviously. It's a mix of 439 and 304 stainless, which we use 439 even though people whine about it because it's actually got a nice satin finish to it, and it's really corrosion resistant, but also it's a little softer than 304. The 304 that everybody uses looks really nice, but it's more brittle and it can crack more. So these systems, these ATLP systems, we've been making them for, geez,
yeah, a long time.
More than 15 years, and people still use the original ones. So anyway, we designed it to give more sound and a little more performance, but mostly I think people are looking for sound from the MDX because it's so quiet from the factory.
It whispers.
Yeah, it's so quiet. It's like, come on, it's a Type S, give it a little bit of sound. So a few things that we really wanted to make sure we did was make it so that the valve actually made an audible sound difference. Because in the TLX, it makes a pretty good sound difference with the valve open versus closed.
Right.
So we wanted people to be able to hear it more with the valve open, but still be able to hear it with it closed too, you know, just more sound all the time.
So, question for you.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm used to the TLX and the NSX. There's two valves. The MDX only has one?
Yeah, which was a little bit of a weird thing, and I think that that's part of the reason why the valve doesn't do a whole lot from the factory. We really had to put our thinking caps on designing the muffler. You can see there's like some little spot welds in here, as there's like the internal structure is not what we traditionally would do, because to make that valve actually do something, the muffler has to be designed in a really specific, well, I'm sure there's lots of ways of doing it, but we had to come up with something. We went through like 3 or 4 different revisions of mufflers to try to get the sound right. The easy thing to do is just, you know, split it 2 here and 2 out there, and this one's a straight pipe and this one isn't.
Yeah.
But then what do you have? You have one side that's got more flow and is louder when it's open, and then the other side is got something all the time, but it's quieter. So it's like, we didn't really want to battle with 2 different sound tubes. And we thought about doing a crossover in between here and then doing 2 out, but that still wasn't going to balance the flow very much. So what we ended up doing was, there's like a collector chamber in here. So the 2 come in, this side activates with the valve, this side doesn't, but it all collects in one chamber here, and it's single out that we then re-split it to the tailpipes again. So it ended up, and then we were able to get the muffler design in such a way that we didn't need to use the extra, like the factory MDX has those 2 little mufflers in the back. We wanted to try to avoid that, just because more mufflers cost more.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't personally heard it yet, but
we're gonna
hear it now. A lot of times they'll put these here to just reduce some tone a little bit so that it doesn't drone inside the vehicle, the factory one. And then, you know, the original mufflers up there too, doing most of the work, but to just sort of like clean up the sound a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think probably people have cut these out, and I still don't think it makes a big sound difference. With that going in, I can't imagine what's going on inside there. But coming out, you got the 2 tailpipes and then 2 more mufflers here. So yeah, there's a lot of muffling going on, and you know, there's going to be a lot less here. Can the magic of ATLP muffler design create a sound here that's a lot more aggressive, but not going to drone inside? I think that's the biggest thing, because nobody likes drone. Let's start pulling this thing off. It's a little cruddy looking, Ira. Looks like you've been off-roading with this thing.
Wonder why that is.
Yeah, well, if you haven't been watching his channel, he has been off-roading this thing. Like I said, you'll find a link to his channel in the description. All right.
Look at those big guys.
Yeah, the tanks.
Yeah, the tanks.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to hit there. That's good to know. This? Hit here all I want.
Gas tank.
Yeah, no big deal there.
There are...
So living with the exhaust, it's throaty. I would say that this is not like a raspy exhaust. This is an exhaust that really accentuates the V6 engine in the MDX Type S. And honestly, it probably gives it the growl that the vehicle deserves for how it drives. Being a Type S, being a turbo V6, being all-wheel drive, certainly a vehicle that warrants a little growl. And the OEM exhaust literally has nothing. One thing that I learned from Marcus is that since it does have an active valve on the exhaust to make it louder, I'm used to the TLX Type S and the NSX where you have 2 different valves. The MDX, as you'll see in the video, only has 1. So after living with this thing for a while, it's not obtrusive, it's not overly loud. When you get on it, like now, like it sounds really good. You definitely hear the growl a lot more at lower RPMs than higher RPMs. So I'm actually going to take you through a parking garage here in just a minute and show you exactly what it sounds like in there. And again, Marcus's video is going to be the DIY. I just was able to sit back and watch, and it was pretty cool. It was really fun to see everything just line up perfectly. Driving with it, you hear it definitely in the 1800 to 2200 RPM range. Also, you know, this is definitely a shout out or a kudos to Marcus and the whole team at HeelToe Auto. You know, so much right now, people are trying to find the least expensive part, and you really do get what you pay for. You know, Marcus and the whole team at HeelToe Auto really do live their motto. Since meeting Marcus, I honestly have been able to really enjoy that aspect because he's been a resource not only for me, but for the entire community. I learned about HeelToe Auto way back in the S2000 days. I want to say maybe 2010, maybe earlier. He's a name, their company is a name that has been around a really long time, and it's for good reason. When he says that he's in your corner, he really is. Whether you buy you know, a $100 part from him or a $5,000 coilover system. He wants to make sure that that is the right application for your vehicle and it follows you through. A lot of the big box purchases, maybe you might find something a little bit cheaper, but the quality probably isn't as good as what he's carrying because he carries name brands. And the fact that his service stands behind the product, I think, goes a really long ways. You can hear us at these lower RPMs right now and hear that exhaust engage. And this is just in normal mode. I'll turn it over to sport. So now we're in sport mode. So right now the valving is open and we should be getting a little bit more growl, but you know, like I had mentioned, there's only one active valve on this exhaust, the OEM exhaust for the MDX Type S. So it does not make a huge difference either way, simply because there's only one valve. Okay, I'm gonna go in parking garage here. We'll see if any alarms get set off. We used to do that back in the day. To the top. You know, no matter what your age, having an exhaust on a vehicle going through a parking garage never gets old. But no alarms getting set off. Okay, so now we're in idle, and this is pretty much it. Not the loudest thing in the world. We'll get some clips outside and take some close-up video of the actual exhaust, but yeah, all in, I would say this thing is probably exactly what the target customer is looking for. It's not overly loud, it's extremely easy to install. The fit and finish is amazing. You have great support from the company that's making it because they have a vested interest in the product, and you're obviously shopping local. So there's nothing really to lose if this is what you're targeting. Like I said, I wasn't looking for this. This was simply an opportunity that I decided to help out a friend, try out myself, see if it's something I was interested in, and it's been pretty fun. I've got to admit, having an exhaust on this thing really does give it the growl I think that most MDX type owners are looking for when they buy a vehicle like this. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below.